Hello and welcome to Tangle Time Arts. I'm Nana Heron, certified Zentangle teacher. And today we are going to make a creepy kawaii Halloween pumpkin using one tangle called Künstler. And we're going to start with, I'm using orange cardstock today. It's trimmed to about 4.5 inches by 4.5 inches. And I've already drawn a pumpkin shape. You can make it round or oval. If you don't want to sketch one, you could pre-print one. Just pick a template off of the internet and pre-print your cardstock. Once you have your pumpkin shape, you're going to take a pencil and we're going to draw some wavy lines. We're just going to start about here, and we're just going to do wavy lines like that. And then we're going to make another wavy line, which is kind of like our string, and we're going to go opposite our original. So where this goes out to the left, we're going to go out to the right, then come back in. So we're kind of mirroring that shape. And then we're going to make another one. Again, we're kind of mirroring the last string we did, but it doesn't have to be perfect. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections. And once you get those drawn in with your pencil, we're going to draw one more pencil line. I'm going to go kind of across the center, but you could go a little higher or a little lower. And I'm just going to go kind of cut that in half right there. And then I'm going to switch to a black pen. I'm using an apprentice pen, and I get them through Zentangle, but you could use another black pen or a micron. And at this point, we're simply going to make, kind of like you would for crescent, the half moon shapes right along the line that you drew before. And then I'm just going to rotate my tile. And I'm using orange today, but you could use any color. You could use yellow or purple. You could use black. You could use white. It's totally up to you what color pumpkin you'd like to create. So we have something like this. And we're simply going to aura our original line there. And we're going to go up that column. And we're making these curved aura lines staying within that pencil line there. I'm going to rotate my tile as I go, just to make things a little easier. And these auras don't have to be the same width. Some can be thinner or wider. Okay. And I'm going to work on the top half first. So I'm going to do all the top sections. So I'm going to move over to this next little crescent moon and the same thing. I'm going to make auras all the way up, keeping between those lines. And what I'm doing is I'm bringing the lines in a little bit. I always come in a little bit here. Start in a little bit and come in a little bit. Like that. Moving on to the next section, as you can see, I start in a little bit and I go up and over and around and back in. This tangle is wonderfully organic, and you could use it in many shapes, not just the pumpkin shape. Now that the top is finished, I'm going to rotate my tile around, and I'm going to do the same thing for the bottom half. And we're just repeating the same motion over and over again with the auras. And we're at our last column here. All right, once you have something that looks sort of like this, and you might have more than 5 or less than 5 columns, but once you get that all filled in with the auras, we are going to go back in, and do you see the little areas that have the spaces? They're kind of like little triangles. We are going to go back in and fill in those little spaces. You might have more or less spaces than I do. They might be larger or smaller, and that's fine. Again, I'm working kind of on the top half first. I'm concentrating on that, but you might prefer to work all the way down. Takes a little bit of time to fill these all in. Now I'm going to work on the bottom half. And cardstock works really well for this project because you can make these pumpkins a lot bigger. So you could, if you're using especially a pre-printed template, some of them are quite large, so you could do this with a pumpkin that's maybe 8 inches or 7 inches or even larger. I'll have to go back and try one in purple or lavender because I think that would be really cool. All right, I think I filled in all of the little spaces, and you can always go back and fill something in if you missed it. But I think that's all filled in. I'm now going to focus on these little areas here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is where the creepy cute comes in. I'm going to add little eyes. So for this guy, I'm going to kind of make him a little bit sleepy. Give him some eyelids there. And then for me, this space is really small. So we'll put 2 small eyeballs in there. And you don't have to have 2, you could have just 1. Let's do that with this one. I'm just going to put 1 eye in there. Or you could do 3 or 4 eyes. I'm going to have this one with the eyes looking in different directions. And for the last one, I think I'll kind of match this one. There, so I've got the little eyes drawn in. And then I'm going to take a moment to look at the stem. At the top, I'm going to add, just kind of fill that in with printa. It's a spiral there. And then for the rest of the stem, I'm just going to aura some lines. You don't have to be the same width. Here we go. And now I'm going to put my pen away and take a number 2 pencil. And I am going to add some shading all along these areas here. So I'm just going to lightly add that to the edges here. All the way to the bottom. And then I'm going to add graphite on each side of those lines. I'm also going to add some graphite along the top here. And along the bottom. I'm going to add some graphite along the top, the first area of the auras here. Okay. And then I'm going to pick up my pen for a second. I'm going to go back in right now and ink these areas in before we blend. Just to bring out the eyes more. You don't have to do this part, but I think it adds a lot more drama. This one's really small, so I have to be careful. Okay, yeah, much more drama there. Now I'm going to take my tortillon, or you could use a cotton swab, and I am going to blend out the graphite on all of the edges there. Kind of drawing it towards the center of each column. And then in these areas, I'm going all the way across. I'm just working from top to bottom. And then again, I'm drawing it to the center, but not all the way into the center. I want to leave some of this just orange. And I'm going to do that with each of these columns. Kind of interesting with the cardstock when I'm using the graphite. These areas look kind of shiny. Looks kind of cool. But in real life, not on the screen, it just looks kind of gray. All right, so now we have some shading done, and the center of each column is a nice orange color. We're going to take a moment, and you can either shade the stem, or if you have colored pencils, and I just have two random Prismacolor. I have Sienna Brown and Prussian Green. I'm just going to add a little color to my pumpkin stem here. This is optional. You could totally just add some graphite and it would look fine. So I've got brown, and I'm going to add a little green, which on the orange paper almost looks sort of brown as well. I've got that filled in. I'm going to go in with, I have a chalk pencil here, a pastel chalk pencil. You could also use a white colored pencil, but I'm just going to add some highlights here over the bright orange parts. It just adds a really nice touch. Don't need a lot. And I'm just going to blend with the finger. And really a little goes a long way here, so it's just a really light touch. Just in areas that you think might benefit from that. Right. I'm just going to kind of blend that in a little bit. Again, I'm just using my finger at this point. You could use a cotton swab or a tortillon if you want, but don't use the same tortillon that you use for graphite. Use a new one. So now we've got this. We're almost done. I'm going to take a white jelly roll, and I am going to add white to the eyes. I do this part last so that I don't accidentally smear my piece. And if you need to go back in and touch up some areas with a black pen, that is fine. Right. And just make sure the gel pen is dry before you do any more touch-ups, but that's basically it. I'm going to add my initials, my chop here in the corner, and take a really good look at it. I just love these pumpkins. They're so cute. And I hope you enjoy making these for your holiday celebration. There's that one, and here's the one I made earlier. Aren't they just so cute? They're super cute. All right, happy Halloween, everyone. I hope you enjoy this project, and thank you for joining me. Love you all. Bye-bye.